So me and Kendall made chocolate chip cookies, and first you have to find the amount of butter you need. So we took f of x, and it's a piecewise function, so f of x of 3x over 4 as x is less than 1, and then the other part of it is 3 over 4 as x is greater than or equal to 1. So to find the limit, you need to start by taking the limits from the left and the right. So first you take the limit from the left, so it's the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 from the left, which is, once you plug in the 1, it'll end up being 3/4. And then the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 from the right is still 3/4. So they both equals 3/4, which means the limit exists. Because if you use the continuity checklist says that like the f of x is defined, so the limit is defined, which it is, and it exists, which it does, and the limit is equal to the point, which it also is. And then additionally, to prove that the limit is 3/4 and that it exists, we made a graph in Desmos. So as you can see, as it comes from the left, it still reaches the point of 3/4, and as it comes from the right, it still reaches the point of 3/4, which also checks off all the points on the continuity checklist. So next we have the amount of eggs you need. So we did this by finding the instantaneous rate of change. So the equation is f of x is x plus 5 at the point of x equals -11. So the limit as x approaches 0 is what you take, and then you have to use the instantaneous rate of change formula. So it would be x plus h plus 5 minus x plus 5 over h. And then you have to distribute the negative in that equation. So you have the limit of x approaches 0 as x plus h plus 5 minus x minus 5 over h. So then you're left with h over h, and then if you plug in the 0, 0 over 0 is 1, so you use 1 egg. So next we have baking soda. So to find the amount, you take the limit as x approaches infinity. So the equation is limit as x approaches infinity of x squared plus 3x plus 5 over x squared plus 7x plus 10. So the limit, so like you do that, you get to do more because it's infinity over infinity. So then you take the limit of that equation, but you multiply everything by x over x squared. So once you multiply everything by x squared, you're going to get the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 plus 3 over x plus 5 over x squared over 1 plus 7x plus 10 over x squared. So once you plug in the infinity for all those x values, the infinity will cancel because it either approaches a really small point or a really big point. So it would just be 0 for the values that have x or infinity in them. So you're left with 1 plus 0 plus 0 over 1 plus 0 plus 0, which is 1. Okay, so we did a nutritional fact, how many grams of sugar are in the cookies. So to find this, you find the limit as x approaches infinity. So the equation is f of x equals 3x plus 5 over x plus 2. So when you take the infinity of, or if you plug in the infinity sign for that, it's going to be do more. So you have to multiply that whole thing by x. So like each part of the equation by x. So you're going to get the limit as x approaches infinity of 3 plus 5 over x over 1 plus 2 over x, which when you put in the infinity, it's just going to equal 0. So then you get 3 plus 0 over 1 plus 0, so you're left with 3 grams of sugar. Okay, and lastly, we have the time that it takes to bake. So to find this, it's another graph. So we represented this through a piecewise function. So it's the f of x as x 3x minus 1 if x is less than 3, and x plus 5 if x is greater than or equal to 3. So first you take the limits from the left and the right. So first we took the limit from the left. So it's the limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the left of, so once you plug in the 3 for all those x values, you're going to be left with 8. And then the same thing for the right, like the same process, the limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the right, you're left with 8. So that means that the limit is 8 because it checks off all those points of continuity, which is, it's defined, it exists, and the limit is equal to the point. So we represented this through a graph. So as you can see from the left, it equals 8. It hits the 8, and then from the right it also hits the 8. So that means that it is continuous, and you bake it for 8 minutes.